Yeah. C-Sharp squad with the marketing schemes, making brands pop like soda and dreams. With StoryBrand certified, the real hot shot. Now we step back, call the status forgot. We said bye to the
Hey,
chaos.
hey. Hello, hello.
Oh,
I
that
can I
tune
can
never
see you
gets
nodding your
old.
head in the green room.
Yeah, that tune never gets old, man.
Yeah, nice,
Um,
nice,
well, welcome to another episode of Marketing Live Jam,
nice.
and yeah, well, it's been good. It's been good. What's happening in your world?
Exciting change actually. Followers the game is back on the cards. No pun intended.
Ooh,
We'll give it a one more shot for Q4 in this year.
wow.
So yeah, that's exciting. So
What?
it's.
Okay, so give us a bit of context of what that is.
I mean, I probably shouldn't too much, given that this is live. But um, a few years ago, I created a board game. We had an initial strategy to promote it through a particular channel. Didn't work out as we wanted to, so we kind of put it on ice, focused on other stuff. And now that means that we have about 4,500 board games in a warehouse. And we
Ooh.
were like, hey, we really need to get rid of them. And I'm sure there are a lot of people that could have a lot of fun with these games. And one of our friends said, hey, I'm happy to take the risk and invest into an agency to run advertising to sell these games. And then obviously split profits. And we were like, we have nothing to lose. If nothing
Uh-huh.
changes, nothing changes. But so it's, yeah, we will be running ads for the next 2-3 months and
That's
then see
awesome.
what we can do.
So
And I
you're
was amazed by how much AI content I could create. So that's, yeah, I'm going to play with that for a bit.
wow. So you're gonna do both organic and paid.
Um, yeah, mostly paid.
Okay, awesome. Very, very good. Well,
Yes.
hopefully this time works out. And you're like, are you doing anything different, or you're just basically going to pump money into paid advertising?
Mainly pump money into advertising.
Yeah.
Um, and it's made me think, and maybe our guest can kind of talk into that as well. With all the Facebook changes, etc., my what I've heard a lot is that the Facebook algorithm is changing more towards interests, or just um, what are people into in the moment, so
Hmm.
that you have kind of less control on who to target. It's just Facebook finding the right people. Facebook
Yep.
has a high interest in selling to the right people because it means you'll spend more.
Of course.
So at the beginning, you just go really broad, and you let Facebook tell you what works, and then you just double
Yeah.
down on that. So
Well, that's machine learning 101 for you, isn't it?
yeah, so we'll see if that strategy will work, and if we
Cool.
sell anything.
Well, next thing you know, you'll be cashing in tens of thousands of dollars, and then maybe buy yourself a holiday on a cruise with the family.
Well, it could be a cash loaded Christmas, or maybe
Yeah,
nothing
that's it.
changes. But
Oh
yeah,
man,
so
oh, man,
that's
that's
potentially
good. Well,
exciting.
hopefully it works out this time.
Yeah, yeah. But
And I've just returned from New Zealand after a week and a half of skiing.
nice.
Uh, yeah, quite adventurous holiday.
No broken
Yeah,
collarbones.
no, no, that this is good. I'm good this time. This is probably a classic case of I need a holiday from a holiday. Yeah, because just so much energy spent.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm back, so it's good.
Well, you went straight to a big consulting day, so
Yes, you've just come off another consulting day, which is all good, business as usual.
that's what we
Now,
do.
you mentioned about a guest, and I guess this guest is a little bit different from all our guests in the past because he's a fellow marketer. He's actually one of my good friends, and we've known each other for more than a decade now.
Well,
His name is Johannes Cliffell, and he runs a digital marketing agency called CloudClicks, and they are specialists in paid advertising of all things. So it's actually
awesome.
interesting that you mentioned about that. Um, this is us. The reason why I'm bringing Johannes on, we'll maybe just bring him on now if
Okay. Yep. Hello, Johannes.
Johannes.
Hey, how's it going?
Good,
Good.
good, good,
Nice to
good.
have you on the show.
That's
Okay.
it. Well, I was just gonna say the reason why we're bringing Johannes on as a fellow marketer because one, he's a German, another German guy.
We need more
uh,
Germans.
that's it. So you guys can geek out on your German chops offline. But yeah, Johannes is super smart. He's more like a data scientist, to be honest, to me. He knows his chops around all things digital, his paid ads. His agency kills it from a ROAS point of view. He builds really sophisticated websites and just runs a really tight ship in digital advertising. But that is not the reason why we're bringing him on. Because with a show like this, we usually would like geek out on what's the latest trend on Google Ads and what's the latest web development platforms and whatnot. This is our attempt to launch a mini series called Marketers Who Tell the Truth, right? If you've been doing marketing for your company or you're in charge of doing marketing for your company for more than 2 minutes, you would have some agency stories to tell, right? So agencies out there promising the world and you didn't deliver and blah, 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 right? We've certainly heard a lot of that and sometimes blamed on playing the bad agency game, right? But what people haven't really heard is the other side of the story. Okay, so so we want to bring someone like a Johannes on, and there will be more guests, more agency owners, or more digital marketers, or more marketers. We want to bring them on to tell our side of the story, because when things don't work out, is not always, well, and most of the time, in my perspective, is not the agency's fault. Sometimes it's the clients who don't really know what they're doing. So for those of you out there who are watching, if you're looking for the latest and greatest Facebook ads tips, this is not the episode for you. But if you're out there trying to understand how to work effectively with your agency or how to brief them, what you need to understand before you engage any agency, no matter what their promises are, this is a show for you. Okay. So here's episode 1 of our mini series, Marketing Telling the Truth. Hi, Johannes.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, good, good, good. Well, why don't we start by you telling us a little bit about what you do and maybe a little response. Like, look, we haven't scripted this, so you can say whatever you want to say. But based on my little, I guess, tangent just before, what will be, well, first and foremost, what do you do and how you operate? And then what's your response on what I've just said?
Yeah, for sure. So, as you said, I run a digital marketing agency called CloudClicks. And originally, I started off as sort of a pay-per-click advertising guy. So, Google Ads was my bread and butter. When it was Google AdWords, I was running Facebook ads in 2009 before they even had conversion tracking.
Wow.
So, I go back a little while. Been doing this, seen a lot of things come and go. And in 2012, started my own agency, CloudClicks, and basically just helping businesses grow with proper digital marketing tactics. Which is why back in the days when you started with StoryBrand, you came, like, we flew you to the sunny coast and got you advise some of our clients to sort of get better messaging.
Mhm.
And that's sort of where it started. Since then, I've invested in e-commerce companies. I own one e-commerce company myself, invested in another one, bought a couple web design agencies because I was hiring other agencies to build websites for us, and
Yeah,
what we got back wasn't up to scratch to actually run proper ads with.
yeah.
um, so I decided to venture into that space and just expand our services into web development and custom developments.
Mhm.
And yeah, just doing that, trying to make money, run ads, stay on
Mhm.
the forefront of what's happening. And I just
Yeah,
got back from, well, just in January. I came back in January from traveling around Australia in a caravan
living.
for 14
Nice.
months. Yeah, well, depends how you look at it.
Mhm.
But yeah, so quite a few interests, and um, yeah, as far as yeah, curious to see what kind of questions you have, or if you just want me to jump into.
Yeah, sure. Well, let's start with some horror. Like, it's easy for us to jump on a show like this and talk about all our success stories and how you 10x results and all that stuff, right? Like, everybody talks about that. I would love to know about some of the horror stories of you working with a client and everything clicked, but the results didn't translate, or there are some misunderstandings or miscommunications between you and a client, and just some horror stories around your
Yeah.
work. Yeah.
Well, all right, I'll start with one pretty straightforward horror story, I guess.
Yeah.
Basically, at one point, I was trying to sell leads. So basically, I would run all the campaigns, and then I would find clients, and they pay us per lead, right?
Yeah.
And so I was working with two guys selling investment properties,
Mm.
and both of them, they got the same. Like, I was running the same ads for basically just in two different locations, but big scheme of things, the same ads getting very similar results.
Mm.
And one of the clients closed 1 out of 3 leads that we provided, and the other one, after 100 leads, he got 1 sale. And so obviously he blamed us for not generating proper leads,
Yeah.
which I knew that wasn't the case because we're using the same ads, the same targeting, and the other guy would just kill it with results, right? So that was a very very good A/B test where I'm like,
Mm.
it's not like there's only so much that I can be responsible for, right?
Yeah, that's
Another,
right. And I think just to respond on that, right? Like, I think some, like, this is one of the things that we always have to educate clients. And to your point, like, no matter how many times we say it, they still don't get it, or they don't want to get it. Is there's a fine line between marketing and sales. Like, we can give you all the leads under the sun. Yeah, we can argue all day about the quality and qualification and all that sort of stuff, right? But if you just can't sell, or if you don't have a sales process, right, there's no way. Like, you could pay us $1 million and you won't get the results, right?
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think sort of like if we go on the other direction, like into like e-commerce, for example, like that's sort of a bit more clear cut, where I'm like, you sell a product, you've got an online store, you spend X amount of dollars on ads, you get, I don't know, 5x, 10x, 20x return.
Mm.
um, that's sort of a lot easier to sort of deliver. But even in those scenarios, there's only so much we can do when we make recommendations on the checkout process, right, or on the look of the website, or to add a pop-up, and the client doesn't want a pop-up. There's only so much. Like,
Yeah.
we can make recommendations, but in the end, I can't just go in and take over a client's website, which, to be honest, that's why I'm sort of investing in e-commerce businesses, because
Yeah.
I know
So
I can get the results. But in order to get the results, I know that I need to get in there, get my hands dirty, do the things
yeah,
that need to be done. Because
yeah,
otherwise, there's, like, again, if you get a 1% conversion rate, it doesn't matter
yeah,
how much traffic we drive, you're only going to
yeah.
get that many sales, right? So
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a really good point. I'm interested to go back to your selling leads model
yeah,
before, and obviously there are a bunch of agencies out there doing that. Oh, we get you X amount of appointments, or you don't pay us, or we sell your leads and whatnot. Two questions for you. Number one, are you still doing that stuff? And
no.
secondly, uh,
Hmm.
yep, okay, good. And secondly, what's the underlying incentive or tactic behind schemes like this?
Well, so basically, if you find the right client that has a need for leads, and they know they can convert 1 out of 10,
Mhm.
and each sale is worth 10 grand, they're happy to pay $100 per lead, right? And if I can generate the lead for $30, they don't care, as long as the leads are flowing.
Hmm.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
reason I stopped doing it, because I didn't like the sale process, and
Mm.
in the end, it sort of comes down um, to the sales team, how well they're converting. And I was
Mm.
having to deal with the principal of a company, for example, but
Yeah.
he wasn't doing the sales, and so the sales team wasn't following up. So they requested refunds, and it was just not I know people that are killing it. Their whole agency is built around pay-per-lead. It just wasn't the right fit for me. Maybe I'll explore it down the road, but it just wasn't my cup of tea at the time.
Yeah, fair enough. Hey, Ori, did you have any questions for your fellow countrymen?
I did, but I got sidetracked about the pay-per-lead thing. Have you ever thought of offering the close as well? So basically pay-per-client. Now with all the AI stuff, hopefully you could close them as well.
Well, funny you mentioned that. I'm looking at a tool right now that does AI chatbots that sort of pre-qualify the leads.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, I think sort of where I'm wanting to go, the vision that I'm having is I want to own the companies. Like I want to own my own companies. I want to be my own client, right? So if I can have 5 companies that CloudClicks runs ad for, and all 5 companies are mine,
Yeah.
happy days. That would be my ideal scenario, because I'm just rather make myself money than deal
Yeah,
with.
you have authority to make decisions rather. If the client sits there and can't sell, how do you tell them that they can't sell and that they will only succeed if they do?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. How what does that journey look like? How far? And I totally agree. I'm more or less on the same boat as well, right? Because when you run your own show, you get to control things, and you don't have to put up with people's opinion and their dumb decisions and whatnot. How are you managing? How far are you away from achieving that? And what's the sort of rollout plan?
So I've got 3 businesses that I'm sort of trying to get off the ground. One I own 20% shares in, and that business is doing well. We doubled revenue 2 years in a row. So
Wow.
that's looking good. And so the first years, I didn't get any profit, but we're sort of in December is sort of when the first profit distribution comes. So see how
Wow.
that works out.
Nice.
Wow. That's
So
the
nice
first
Christmas.
fruit. Yeah.
Pretty much. And
Oh
then
man.
the other e-commerce business I just bought, the challenge I've got there is if I have a client that pays me a couple grand a month to run the ads or do whatever, you're sort of motivated to go and get the work done.
Yeah.
If it's your own business, I'm like, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow, I'll do it later. And it's just another thing that needs to get done. So it's,
Did you buy the e-commerce business outright, like, or are you working with partners?
so the one I've got a partner, or I'm the partner, basically. I'm the marketing partner.
Yeah.
Whereas the other business I bought outright, but it was just a small business doing like, I don't know, 50 grand a year revenue, something like that. So
Yeah.
it's something that it just sits there. It makes a sale every couple of weeks or every once a
Yeah.
week, something like that. But it's sort of, there's no Google ads, no Facebook ads, no proper tracking, no email marketing. So lots of room for growth. Just got to
Yeah.
sit down and get it done, right?
Well, I mean, no business in telling you what to do, but what, like, because I'm on the same boat once again, right? Like, just this is just sharing. I mean, we're streaming live and we're sharing trade secrets. I would probably set up a fee structure between the agency and the e-commerce, and it's difficult if you're the 100% shareholder of the e-commerce business. But I would have a service agreement from day one, and someone else to do the work as well. Then that incentivizes you to actually put in the work.
Yeah, it's a good point. I'm gonna write that down and like it. I like the way you think.
Do you mean,
Yeah,
Alex, that you have to pay yourself?
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, well, it's just
Oh, what happened? I think I kicked out. Are you still there, Johannes?
Is it
Yeah,
Alex dropped out?
he's back.
I'm still here.
Oh, yeah, he's back.
oh, yep.
Yeah,
You
you're
there?
back.
Anyone?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah. Okay.
Hi.
Yep.
I was asking Alex. So, do you mean that if you have the agency and the business, that the business has to pay the agency? Is that what you were suggesting? Oh, he disappeared again.
Yeah,
Yep.
I
All
think
right.
I think that's
Alex, you can hear us?
I think
Yes.
that's
Okay,
What
you
do
go,
you think?
Johannes.
I think that's what Alex was referring to, that the like the business, the e-commerce business pays the agency a fee
Yeah.
from day one. I really like
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other
Yeah.
thing I want to say in that is because I've so bought that first e-commerce business under my trust. So I've got my CloudClicks, my company. I've got the trust, and I bought the e-commerce in the trust. But I just had a session with a accountant, and so they recommended to start another company. So the trust owns CloudClicks as the company, and another trading company that owns 1, 2, 3 e-commerce businesses until they grow to a
Yeah.
certain size.
Yeah.
So it's just looking at the
Basically you want to set up a portfolio company that holds all your business asset, like your e-commerce businesses. Um,
yeah
yeah, that's just a legal structure thing, but I think it will make sense for your e-commerce business, like treat it as an entity. Makes for your e-commerce business to actually have a service engagement with a marketing provider that can be
yeah
CloudClicks or someone else, and then when they make money, you'll pay a fee basically for the marketing
yeah
services, regardless of who that is, and that, like, from a P&L point of view, that's just another expense item.
yeah. That's great. I like that.
Anyways, we're not here to talk about business structure and business acquisition, but that's good. Hey, I wanted to know. Um, so you've talked a little bit about client, and I think there is a stigma in our industry that we have all the magic tricks, to manipulate, the algorithm, and get results and whatnot. What do you think clients need to understand before they engage, especially a marketing agency who's out there making all these promises? What do they need to understand before they engage someone?
Well, I think like you need to understand sort of real. Like you need to have realistic expectations, right? So, for example, if I've got a business that's turning over 50 grand a year, that's
Mm,
a tiny business, right? So, if I engage an agency to spend $1,500 a month on ads and spend another $1,000 on management, it's really hard to sort of get a return on that because the business is not at a point where it's proven that it has the conversion rate, it has the size to actually sustain an expense like that, right? So at this point, you're hoping that you can grow the business, you can double, triple, quadruple the business, but realistically, if you're making a sale a month or a sale a week,
yeah.
it's sort of everyone's guess what's going to happen once you start running ads. Basically, what ads do is they accelerate the business, but that could be a good thing or a bad thing because
Yep.
if you if you if you're losing money on every sale or you're breaking money on every sale, breaking even on every sale, and now you're throwing money behind it, paying an agency plus paying Google, and you're only breaking even, but you've got additional expense. Well, guess what? You're losing money, and the more money you spend, the faster you're losing money, right?
Yeah.
So
I think especially in e-commerce, hey, like, because the margin is so thin, right, in e-commerce, with the cost and everything, like, yeah, you could brag about 10x return, but you're probably not making a lot of dough after that, right?
yeah, well,
Yeah.
and it depends on your industry as well, right? I've had a client that they were like a physical bookstore, and they
Mm,
wanted to sell online, and their belief was that Amazon is not a competitor because people like to buy books from small local businesses, right? Well, if I can get a book up for $20 on Amazon, it doesn't matter how much I like any other company. I'm not gonna pay $50 for it, right? And they insisted on no, this is not. It's gonna work. So like we ran the ads, which I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have, but we did.
yeah.
And obviously we couldn't make it work, right? Because Amazon was just cheaper on every single item.
Mm,
And after 3 months, we pulled the plug on it. So I think it's just having the expectation of what's possible.
mm,
Um, and so, for example, if you have a business that's getting good organic traffic, you're making 20 sales a day, you've got 2, 3, 4% conversion rate. Well, Google Ads, Facebook Ads is probably a good. It's a good bet, right? To get similar results and accelerate what you're doing. assuming the margins are there. So I think that's
Absolutely.
sort of what it comes down to is knowing your numbers and then take it from there.
Because there was one question that I had, that I know there are some agencies out there, they just say yes to everyone and they just want the management fee, and whether the ads will work or not, they're happy to take on the client. How do you assess whether a client is worth on taking, not just for yourself, but also for their sake?
Well, I have an honest conversation with the client in the first place, right? So they come to me, they ask questions, I do research. I was like I just did research for a client where like there's X amount of search queries for that term that you're wanting to compete with. The cost per click is this. Let's assume based on your website you get a 5% conversion rate. That's just an inquiry, not a sale. And then out of those, you need 10 inquiries to get a sale. Is that number a good number? And then that's a yes or no answer.
Yeah.
And if the client says, yeah, that could actually work, well, then we've got something to work with. But they know sort of the risk, right? They know what we can expect. And especially if a client doesn't have their tracking installed, if they tell me it's like, well, we get 5 inquiries a month, but I don't know how many people go to our website, I can only make assumptions, right? And then what we got to do is install proper tracking, either let it run for 2 to 3 months to get numbers, or start running ads and then see what happens. But until we have numbers, we're guessing, really, right?
Yeah, I like that German thinking. What do you do? What do you do with new businesses that, like, hey, we're launching this new thing, we don't have historical data?
Well, so I guess again, that depends if you're offering if a service that people are already looking for, right? If you're a plumber and you're opening a plumber shop, you know how many people are in the area, you know what the competition is. But if you're like in your scenario, right?
Yeah.
If you're selling a
Board game.
a board game, people buy board games, but they don't know your board game, right?
Yeah.
So we can assume there's X amount of people that spend money on board games. We can try to get in front of them. But then the question is, how much money do you have? How much money are you willing to spend? And are you happy to trial it for a month? And let's say spend $5,000 or $2,000 or whatever, see what happens, right? So you need to have some
risk tolerance.
Yeah. So for example, I'm from Germany. My parents or my dad is good friends with a guy that has a vineyard in Germany, and there's Australian tourists that go there for wine tasting, right? So we're like, oh, let's import German wine to Australia and sell it online, because there's some people that would buy it because they've been there. So what I did, I built a landing page, started running Google ads bidding on terms like German wine, and I spent $1,000 to see how much, what's it gonna cost to sell a case of wine. So I figured out how much it cost me to sell a case of wine. But I also needed to look at shipping cost, storage. I'm in Queensland, so I need a cool room to store the wine. I need to import it. I need to get a liquor license to sell it. By the time I added all that stuff up, I'm like, realistically, I could do it. It could be a business making money, but it's just going to be a pain. It's going to be really hard to make it a profitable business.
Yeah.
And so I just spend a couple grand and maybe 15, 20 hours and refunded everyone that bought a case of wine, sorry. And that was that.
Oh, so you did take the sale, just didn't have the product.
Oh, yeah.
Was it like
I gotta test it, right?
Yeah, pay a deposit to... Or did you refund them instantly?
So basically the way I've set it up, I've set up an online store. They made the payment. I took their payment. I refunded the payment saying, sorry, we're not
out of stock.
operational, but if we'll let you know. So basically that's how I've set it up. I don't know if that's the best approach, but at the time it seemed like a good idea and taught me how not to start that business, right?
Yeah. Well, it's better losing 2,000 or 5,000 than 50,000 down the line.
Well, then shipping 4,500 board games in a warehouse.
Yeah. Well, because I've had another client, and they've basically spent, I don't know, probably a couple $100,000 building a website and a custom app to offer. Basically, it was the next Airbnb or the next Uber, right? Is what he hoped for. And so spend all this money with no testing, no running ads, no like nothing. He just thought
Yeah.
it was a good idea.
Yep. People are gonna love it. Oh man, how many times have
But
we
these
come
tech
across?
stories,
How many times have we come across with crazy people like that?
they just
Yeah,
fall in
and
love
it's
with the idea. Yeah.
and so if someone comes to me, if they've spent the money and built the app, there's nothing I can do, right? But my advice would be, what, build a really basic version of the app, MVP, where you can get people to sign up, or at
Yeah,
least for a
just get
waiting
a wait
list,
list going, man.
and spend 10 grand on ads. If you can't get X amount of people to sign up for it, it's not going to work. Save your
Yeah,
money, do something else. You know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely. No, that's real. I mean, some like when we talk about it, it's common sense and it's just really simple math. But you'll be shocked at how many clients or how many people who are about to drop 5K, 10K, 15K a month, like who just don't want to go through that because they go, oh, there's some big agencies out there making promises, and all I need is just cash, just to feed the cash cow, right? Now,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you one thing though, like the $1 million question that we come across with all the time from clients is, how much should I be budgeting for ads, right? So you mentioned 2 grand, 5 grand, 10 grand. Like, how do you calculate what's essential, or feasible?
All right. If So let's say it depends on your business size, depends where you're already spending money on marketing, right? But let's say you're not spending any money on marketing at all, and you've got no money to spend. You, at the very least, you can set up a super basic remarketing campaign or a really basic traffic campaign, $5 a day, right? So
Yeah.
$150 a month. But you don't want to get someone to manage it for you. So if someone comes to me like that, I would offer them to do the full setup for them. So they pay me $1,500. I do Google Analytics setup. If it's Facebook ads, we'll set up proper Facebook tracking. I'll set up the first few ads, and then we set it up to run with $10 a day, right? And then they just keep an eye on it themselves. And if it works or they want some more help, they can get back to me and hire us for an hourly rate. Um, but if you've got some money to spend, you want an agency to run it for you, I would recommend at the very least 30-40 bucks a day as a starting point, because that gives you a little bit of budget to actually test some ads, get some results. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you get the learning limited from Facebook, and it sort of sits there not really doing much, right? So I reckon if you can, you should be able to spend at least 1,200 bucks a month as sort of on the lower end would be my suggestion.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. So 30, 40 bucks a day. And that number is ever going to be going up because tech companies are greedy and they will inflate the CPM as they like. This is like the biggest Ponzi scheme ever. You can just put up your rates overnight without telling anyone, right?
Well, and it's gonna happen now, October, November. Like we're gonna like the click prices or CPM prices are gonna go up by 25 to 30% over the next few weeks. And then they're
Yep.
never gonna come back to where they were now. They're gonna drop in January, but they're gonna be right up there.
Yeah. So we real people out there who are stressing about mortgages and interest rates and inflation, the biggest inflation scam is actually on
Ad
the
cost.
internet with these tech companies. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to ask you one more question. One of the biggest frustrations from our clients and many other people who use agency is every month they get sent this big complex report with charts and graphs, and most of the time people telling you good news like, oh, everything's working, you're killing it, this is the amount of leads that we're generating, your rankings number one and everything, right? Now, I want us to peel back the curtain a little bit as marketers. How are these data points? How can these data points be manipulated to tell the clients what they want to hear? And then what's the BS detector? I guess is what I'm trying to say here. What should people be looking out for when they're engaging an agency and they get sent all these fancy reports and they get all these good news from people, but they're not seeing conversion on the other end? Like, what should they be looking out for?
Well, I mean, that's a red flag right there, right? So if you basically, what if I'm a client, what I want to know is how much money did we spend, how much money did we make, right? I don't
Yep.
care how many positions, if the positions are up 10% or click-through rate is whatever. I really only care what's in the bank, right? So the question then is, obviously you've got seasonal fluctuations. So if you're in e-commerce business, if we compare month to month, is the trend going in the right direction? And if the trend's going in the wrong direction, if we compare year to year, is are we going in the right direction, right? So that's a question, because um, things change, like rankings change, competitors change. Like, I mean, depending on what you sell, suddenly you're competing with other businesses like yourself, to competing with Amazon, Temu,
Mm.
AliExpress, like all those kind of platforms, Etsy, like. So basically, if you've got a new competitor entering the market, things are going to be more difficult. But I think in the big scheme of things, you got to justify your marketing spend, and you need to know that things are moving in the right direction. So if you're spending money on, if you're a local business spending money on Google Ads and you're not getting any more inquiries, then something's not working, right? And you need to look into why that is. And it could be that it's the wrong ads, the wrong keywords. More likely, it's the conversions are not happening on the site, because people are becoming more educated on what to look for. Um, if your landing page takes too long to load, people are gonna
Mm.
bounce off. You need to look at some of those metrics.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I try to do with my clients. It's like, we're looking at, in the big scheme of things, here's the good stuff. Sales are up, leads are up. But if they're not up, we're looking at what's the reason for that. What do we need to change? And so then that um, tells us what we need to do for next month, and that's what we
Yeah.
communicate with the client. So we just have those check-ins and clarity with the client of what's working, what's not working, right? Because yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes clients get angsty and emotional, or I've spent all this money. How do you mitigate those conversations? I guess.
Well, it's got to be an ongoing conversation. So it starts with setting the expectation before you start running the ads, and then checking in with the client. Like, I've got a
Mm.
client right now that for like 3 months I've been trying to get a meeting, and they just reschedule. They don't show up, and I know it's going to happen at some point. They're not going to be happy with something,
Yeah.
and because I haven't had a chance to talk to them, it doesn't give me any recourse, right? So I think that's sort of a red flag. Is like, if the client doesn't want to talk to an agency, or is too busy, or there's other things going on, which then lead to, even if you've got leads but you're not following them up, that's the problem, right?
Mm.
And I think
Yeah.
that's sort of having those conversations with your agency to make sure everything's working is key
Yeah.
to a successful relationship.
Yeah. That's right. Well, good old communications. Even though
Talk
we
to your
operate
agency,
in
yeah.
the Yep. Talk to your agencies. Tell them and let them tell you too. Hey, Ori, did you have any? I'm getting kicked out of this room very soon. And Ori, did you have any other question before I fire off one last one, and then we'll wrap up the episode?
Yeah, I have a question. I'm very curious about your prediction, Johannes. My gut feeling says that the we are getting less and less control about what Facebook will do with our ads because of the AI algorithms, etc. And they will target who they think will perform best for our audience and what will make the most money. I've just seen that Stripe and Shopify have a partnership with OpenAI to enable product recommendations and instant checkouts on ChatGPT. So my question is it easier or harder than ever to start your own business, given that AI is taking care of most of the distribution of your products?
Hey, before you respond, I'm just going to say that this is outright evil. Like, we are commercializing an AI who is supposed to be unbiased. Like, this is just like,
Well,
even though
there's
I'm
have been no discussions about ads yet, but this is likely
well,
to
this is
come.
where it's going, right? Like, the writing's on the wall. The AI is going to start pushing you into buying stuff that you don't need, which is just anyway. All right, you
Yep.
go.
I mean, I think it's easier than ever if you're switched on to start a business. If you have the right idea, right? Because you can create websites easily, you can create ads yourself, you can create videos, you can create images. Everything can, like, what used to take an agency weeks and thousands of dollars, you can do in an afternoon if you know what you're doing. The problem
Yeah.
is you need to know what you're doing, you need to know how to drive the AI. So the skill set is changing of what it takes to run a successful business. And then the second thing that I don't trust yet is that AI is going to give you the right information. So I don't trust Google. I don't trust ChatGPT. I think it's sort of, they're going to make recommendations, and I'm going to, if the recommendation's good and I've done my research, then happy days. Like, if ChatGPT could book my flights for me, that'd be great. But I've tried quite a few tools to do all that stuff for you, and it's just not there yet. It's trying, but it's
Yeah.
not there. So I want it to be there. I think it'd be great, but at the same time, there's
But
risks with
again,
it.
how do you know you're getting the cheapest flight?
Well,
You
you
know,
don't.
because they exactly right. You know, they want to give you all the quick answers, and then you'll be like, oh, I can't be bothered doing my research. So
Yeah, and then Qantas is paying OpenAI to say, hey, recommend my flights.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So what's the skill we have to learn? Just being AI operators.
Well, being AI operators, but just having, that's the problem, right? The more you use AI, the more you lose common sense. But you need common sense to properly use AI, so it's a bit of a
Double-edged sword,
challenge
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So I think you need to disconnect. If you disconnect from your phone, if you disconnect from AI, pick up a book, go to the beach, go for a walk
Amen.
without distraction, and then you come back for like a focused 4-hour work session, you use AI and you get into it, you probably got a good chance. But if you're distracted, chasing the latest trend, the latest guru, the latest, I don't know, what's working now, download frameworks and blueprints and prompts and all that kind of junk, it's probably not going to work out, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. That's music to my ear. Hey, that leads me to my final question. What is the one, just on top of your head, right? What is the one thing that the latest marketing guru is preaching is just downright BS to you?
I feel like I've gave you an answer in your questionnaire, but I forgot what it was.
Uh, well, what have you seen on LinkedIn or Instagram recently that is just like, oh man, like,
Well, you had what's the kind of marketing advice that should be illegal?
yeah, but he didn't. What's one thing you never? Would you?
Okay, we did send out a questionnaire just for everyone to
Yes,
know.
we did prep for this. I can't think of it. I can't find it. Oh, there you go. What's the trend everyone's hyped about that you think is total fluff? AI everything, right? You're only one AI prompt away from making $1 million.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, that's what we just talked about, right? Because I've got clients that sort of install an AI bot that does SEO and does all that stuff, and I'm like, it's not how it works. Like, it's not. You don't need 500 prompts that sort of help you to start a business. You need common
Yeah,
sense, and AI can't give you that. But everyone's pitching you AI can solve all your problems. AI can replace your agency. AI can replace your accountant. AI can replace your admin person, and they can to a degree, but they can't do it all. And I think it's just BS to think that suddenly AI can do everything and you don't have to do anything yourself. But
Yeah.
that's what everyone's peddling at the moment and selling you their tools that are really ChatGPT in a
In a ramp
slightly
up.
different. Yeah, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
or to join their paid community.
Yeah.
That's another
It's only
thing.
$5 though. It's only $5 and you
Yeah.
get all the answers you ever wanted.
Oh man.
Hey, Ori, what's your response to that? Because you're a big AI fanboy, and
Yeah.
every second day you post on our Slack, of the latest thing. What's your response to that?
Well, I'm trying to get more and more into vibe coding. I play around with a lot of website stuff, and I see a lot of videos pop up around vibe coding and MCP servers and how to connect all these AI tools within one interface or any tools. And I do agree with Johannes that if you are distracted and you're just constantly playing with new trends and new tools, and they do pop out not weekly but daily, are there new releases and new versions, etc. You just end up with a lot of scramble, and so you just have to be. I think what you need to know is what do you want, and then you play with a bunch of tools with the same goal in mind, and then you use whatever serves your objective, but playing around with them mindlessly and always jumping onto the next shiny object won't really lead you
Well,
anywhere.
if you're a coder, if
Yeah.
you know code, you know JavaScript, you can read
Yeah.
it, you can write it, you can understand it, you can vibe code something
Yeah.
and go in, fix it, and make it work. But if
Yeah.
you have no idea of how JavaScript works,
Yeah.
and then you think ChatGPT is gonna write you an app that's better than Uber, I'm like, well, probably not.
Yeah. Yeah,
Probably
and
not.
the app itself is not the miracle. Is the billions of dollars of advertising that went into Airbnb.
Yeah,
It's like
that's right.
technology itself is not impressive anymore with all the the
Absolutely.
stuff.
Yep. So well, how many times have we come across clients where we go, oh, well, I've just got the next big idea, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop 200K in building this thing and think about marketing afterwards, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that doesn't float my boat at all. Hey, Johannes, it's been a pleasure having you. Can talk to you for hours. How can people find you, and what would you say is the number one problem that you solve for people out there looking for marketing solutions?
Well, people can find us at cloudclicks.com.au. It's probably the best way. And what we can do is we can help if you've got a business, if you've got a good business, but you don't have enough time to do all your marketing, we can do all of that for you. And you just got to spend an hour a month, jump on a call, do all the things we tell you, and we can help you grow your business. That's
Hey, tell me
basically.
about this 1 hour marketing framework, because you did talk to me about that. Like, what is this a thing that you've created?
Well, I mean, it's basically we're like it's so what it's called what I call them 1 hour marketing method. And because we're doing Google ads, we're doing Facebook ads, we're doing web design, we do email marketing, um, content. Like there's all kinds of things that you need in a business, and quite often you've got someone that does work in the business, an admin person, you've got an agency, a content agency. And so we're trying to sort of streamline all that and manage that for our clients. And they just need to make an hour a month available for us, which is the end goal. In the beginning, we start with an hour a week. And it's just to build up the strategy and um, all the basic stuff that's required. And if you can commit to an hour, we can commit to making things work for you. You know what I mean? But it's sort of if people are trying to do too many things on their own and in house, that's sort of where we're trying to come in and do it all for them in an hour a month.
So is this more like, are you replacing the other agencies, or are you managing? Like, is this more like a fractional CMO, or is this you trying to get the agency work?
Um, so it started off as sort of me trying to replace agencies, but then I've been sort of playing around with like writing a book or writing like a blueprint in like what do you need, like sort of basic education around like knowing how Google ads work, how Facebook ads work, what you need to look for on the website. And so all those basic things that you need. And then either, I mean, it could morph into a service, it could morph into an educational sort of how to do it yourself. I'm not entirely sure where it's going, but
Hmm.
it sort of it sort of strikes a chord because people are busy. They want to
Yeah.
get stuff done. They don't know how to do it. They don't know who to trust. So I've got a few
Yeah.
options where to take it right now, but it's
Well,
sort
I
of
think the messaging definitely works. Like from
Mhm.
a one like 1 hour, like all you need to spend is 1 hour on your marketing a month,
yeah.
and then you've got trusted partners to take care of it all for you. But yeah, I think it's like in our books, because we've totally pivoted from agency world to a consulting firm now, where we actually
Yeah.
don't do any agency work. So we divide it up into, again, sharing trade secrets. We divide our work to the thinking work, the doing work, and the managing work, basically, right? And yeah, where we spend most of the time doing the thinking work and the managing work, which is Ori's department. But yeah, I love the proposition of 1 hour method, where all we need is just 1 hour of your attention a month.
Yeah.
That's income too.
Yeah, I like too, and that's where we make all the decisions, and then we'll see you again in a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Amazing.
All right. Well, thanks so much for your time on a Friday afternoon. I think we're all ready for a beer, or especially for you German people. Yeah. So have a good weekend. Thank you so much for coming on, and hope you had fun.
Yeah, that was great. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Johannes. Talk soon.
All right.
Bye.
How do you say bye in German?
Well, you can say Auf Wiedersehen, which is like see you later, or like see you again, or you say Tschüss,
Okay.
which is like bye.
Okay. All right. Tschüss. Well,
Cool.
thank you. Thank you, Ori, for coming on. Those of you who are watching, hope you got some insights out of how the other side of the marketing coin works. Yeah. Until next time, we'll bring on another, hopefully, another fellow marketer to unpack or uncover more marketing trade secrets. Until next time, see you.
Cool. See you soon.